I've always fancied myself a bit of a business genius. A virtual titan of industry. So when I saw Gun Store Simulator, I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be easy money. Today, we're going to build an empire from the ground up and become a true tycoon. I mean, how hard can running a gun store actually be? You buy things, you sell them for more, you profit. It's the fundamental law of retail. I was ready to dominate the market. Then the game started, and there I was standing in an empty room with just $1,500 to my name. Now, I should mention I turned the music off right away. I'd seen a few other content creators mention getting copyright strikes because of the in game soundtrack, so I decided to play it safe. My first customers were already showing up and complaining that it was too dark. A little message pops up. It's like a basement in here. Another one follows. Add more lights. My grand journey to becoming a Mongol was immediately sidetracked by complaints about interior design. This was going to be a little harder than I thought. Okay, deep breaths. A good CEO adapts. First things first, you can't just start slinging merchandise. The game makes you acquire the necessary licenses to legally sell different types of weapons. And as it turns out, my first license didn't even let me buy guns. I had to start with the most basic permit, which only covered simple melee weapons. So I took a look at my supplier list, and this is where my genius was supposed to kick in. My strategy was simple: buy one of everything: brass knuckles, hunting knives, and some wooded baseball bats for good measure. Variety. I wanted to be ready for absolutely any customer. I carefully placed my small, sad looking inventory on the shelves, flipped the closed sign to open, and waited for the cash to start rolling in. The first few customers shuffled in, and the complaints kept on coming. Not enough selection. Got anything that can take down a UFO? It's still too dark. My grand opening felt less like a major business launch and more like a poorly attended garage sale. The game doesn't hold your hand at all. It just throws a bunch of problems at you and expects you to figure it out. My first major learning opportunity was realizing I was the most popular and least profitable store in town. The doors opened, the customers started flooding in. They were buying everything: the bats, the knives, the brass knuckles. Inventory was flying off the shelves. I was feeling like a genius. A customer even said, with this, I'm like John Wick now. Awesome. I was a kingmaker. The cash register was ringing, people were happy, and I was on top of the world. Then I checked my bank account. I had sold almost my entire inventory, and my balance had barely budged. I wasn't making any profit. That's when I discovered the game's most brutal lesson. You have to manually adjust your prices. By default, you sell every item for the exact price you paid for it. I had been acting like a wholesale to public charity, giving away gear at cost and making absolutely $0. My only strategy was pure, uncut ignorance. The whole cycle of ordering, stocking, and selling is the heart of the game, and I had forgotten the most important step: making money. This game is all about the business behind the weapons, not just the action. Hey, if you're getting some enjoyment out of watching me fail this spectacularly, do me a favor and hit that like button. It doesn't help my in-game bank account, but it makes my real-life failure feel a little more meaningful. The day finally ended. The store closed and the end-of-day summary popped up on the screen. I stared at it, ready to see the glorious fruits of my chaotic labor. My total profit for the day: $75.50. I had dealt with dozens of unhappy people, run out of stock multiple times, and been shamed for my poor lighting choices, all for the price of a decent dinner. It was in that moment staring at my pathetic earnings, that the truth hit me. This simulator proved I'm a horrible CEO. I had this grand vision of a massive empire, but I couldn't even manage a tiny shop for a single day. But here's the thing, my frustration wasn't because the game is bad, it was because I was genuinely bad at it. And honestly, that's what makes it so good. Gun Store Simulator is a true diamond in the rough game. I expected a simple click and profit game, but Gun Store Simulator is a real deal business management sim. It's made for players who appreciate a slow burn progression and the deep satisfaction of building something
The new
from
neighborhood
nothing.
gangster.
One of the game's biggest strengths is its progression system, which introduces complexity bit by bit, so you aren't totally overwhelmed at the start. Unlocking new licenses and expanding your product line feels incredibly rewarding once you finally start to get the hang of it. The game, which launched in early access on March 18th, 2026, and has a price tag of $9.99 at time of recording, has you manage everything from inventory and pricing to security and legal compliance. The developers are even planning to add more depth with features like advanced staff management and expanding to new store locations. It turns out all the tedious parts I hated were actually reflections of real business operations. Optimizing those systems is where the true fun is hiding. The game doesn't just let you run a store, it forces you to learn how to run a business. So, what was my biggest mistake? Was it my pricing, my inventory, or just thinking I could do this in the first place? Let me know down in the comments what you would have done differently. If you think you could run the gun shop better than I did, then go buy Gun Store Simulator yourself and give it a shot. And if you enjoyed this little journey of failure, be sure to subscribe for more questionable business decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.